Good morning on it's Tuesday, right? Tuesday, January 16th, 2024, 8:30 in the morning. You're watching live from Results One. I'm Trooper Steve, your new 6 traffic safety expert. And man, did I hit the beehive when I talked about semi-trucks parking on the side of the road. So where are you supposed to be parking? We're going to dive into this one topic real quick. My time, the clock, bless you, has been working with me all day, and everything is lining up the way it's supposed to be. We're currently westbound I-4. Now, we're westbound I-4 because within our area we do have 2 rest stops. Rest areas where people can stop, take a break if you're passing through, and it has overnight and large parking. So we're westbound I-4 right now at the 95, entering into that 434 Seminole County area. So if you look off to the side, you see those generic street signs and all stuff, but you see a sign out here that says rest area, next right, nighttime security and vending machine. So we're going to pull into here, but you also see some other signs, emergency stopping only, all along the shoulder, because that's the only time you're supposed to stop. So we're going to pull into this rest area. And this is a free area that is really spread out throughout anywhere you travel, right? It's not special to Florida, but I think we have some decent ones. Now, I've traveled throughout the country, driven a lot. Our rest areas do not compare to some of the other ones because some have some really nice ones. Just saying. But when you pull into here, there are a few different options. This is exactly what it's for, is what it's called, a rest area. It is a place for drivers who are commuting long distances, or when Mother Nature calls and you just got to use, you could pull over here, get out of traffic, and stop in a proper parking space. Not like that semi-truck that is clearly in a no parking zone. But a lot of people got on me when I said, trucks, listen, you have to be cautious when you're parking because you're not allowed to park on the side of the road. So a lot of people got mad and were like, hey, well, there's not enough parking for us. So let's drive around a little bit. So if you're driving a car, you would come this way. Why? Because it says cars this way. So we pull into the rest area here, nice and slow, 25 miles an hour, nothing greater, or 15, excuse me, I'm doing 10. And within here, you can see you have large vehicles, semi-trucks, campers on the right, and normal commuter vehicles on the left. But these are very large parking spots. So maybe if you got a large truck, whatnot, you can pull in a parking area like this. Also off to the left here, restrooms, like it said, vending machines, information, things like that. And then at night, this area is patrolled either by contracted armed security or the Florida Highway Patrol. And you can see it's got stuff for you. It's not a full-fledged restaurant stop, but it is a rest area to get out of all that other craziness of normal traffic you can see out on I-4 right there. This area also includes a pet area. So if you're commuting with your dog, a lot of truck drivers keep their pets with them, their family members. Heck, I'm not a truck driver, but I bring my dogs everywhere. So picnic area closed from dusk to dawn, but it is the sun's up, so we're good to go. And yeah, there's a lot of good information when you're in this zone. And to include like markers, that blue sign there says, this is your location, I-4 westbound, Seminole County, mile marker 95. And then they've got signs up like this out here. Florida Move Over Law. It explains what to do for parked emergency vehicles, includes law enforcement, public, and tow service vehicles. But what does it also include? It includes you guys as well. So let's go back around so we can see the other area. We don't want to exit out of the rest area just yet because we're talking about it. Overnight trailer parking and camping prohibited. So within this area, trailer and camping parking prohibited. But we're doing this because I want to give you the best option. Okay? This semi-truck is not that option. We're going to pull into the areas so we could talk a little bit real quick about where you should be parking, where you shouldn't be parking, and of course the problems that we see when we are doing stuff like this. So we pull into the truck area, and this is where semi-trucks park. This one's parked in the curve probably because overnight it was full. But as we take a wide turn here, you can see this area is for our semi-trucks, campers, car haulers, large vehicles. We've got a camper here. And this is where that would park, because these areas are designated for them. A lot of parking spots for this, but overnight, look, I can understand how this gets pretty busy. So we're going to talk. So let's pull over here and have a little discussion real quick before we end this. All right, so we're out here along the Lake Mary rest area, westbound I-4, 95-mile marker. And what did we just see at the beginning of this? We just spent about 6-7 minutes showing you visually what a rest area looks like. What does most of them include? Now here in Florida, the ones along our interstates, I-95, I-4, I-10, are very basic, but it has the essentials. A place for you to park your vehicle, a place for you to use the restroom, walk the dog, grab a bite to eat out of a vending machine, and kind of take a break. That's what our rest area is designed for. It also has areas for large vehicles to park and things like that. So if I was to say we switch back here, what you're looking at are properly parked semi-trucks. Well, properly for the most part. They're not on the side of the road. And recently we did a little patrol about the signs that we see parked along I-4 saying no parking, or along I-95, like multiple right before and after our rest areas that indicate do not park, no parking. And they were, like, no joke, probably 10 feet apart, right up on each other. Why was this happening? Because we had a lot of semi-trucks parking on the side of the road before the rest area. This is the problem. When you have big changes in traffic and you have these vehicles parked on the shoulder and traffic entering and exiting, you can get hit. It could cause a crash. Parking on the side of the road even stopping on the side of the road is prohibited, not because anyone's wanting to give you a hard time, but it's for emergency purposes only. You're so close to the roadway and you want to limit the opportunity to be struck. I can attest to it. I have seen countless times where a disabled vehicle sitting there doing nothing but being a disabled vehicle on the shoulder, not even blocking a road, gets smacked by another car. If they weren't there, they wouldn't have got hit. So it was also a lot of truck drivers, long overnight haulers mentioned, well, what am I supposed to do then? It's a great question. I need to take a sip of this before we get into that. I'm on a no Coca-Cola kick, by the way. It's water. Okay. I'm only speaking because this is how it should be, and if we all did this, it'd work together. I understand it doesn't always work. There'll be drivers that get it because they're prepared. There'll be other drivers that get upset because they don't agree. You need to have a plan when driving. You are responsible for calculating your hours driven to include when your rest hours are in that commute. We need to plan where we're going to stop, whether it be a partner business along the way. If you're delivering to a big box store, is there another box store on your way there that you could stop at and have permission to stop? Make contact with some of these local large companies that have big parking lots that are closed overnight. Hey, is it okay if I park at the end over here? But when you're parking on the shoulders of the roadway, you're now messing with traffic law and things like that. So you could be cited for improper stopping or standing on the side of the road, or a violation of a traffic control device if the signs are posted. But put the law aside. I know if I was a truck driver, even though I wasn't doing anything wrong, if my vehicle was on the shoulder and I was, say, sleeping at the time and I had hazard lights on in the works, what happens if someone fell asleep and hit my car? I would feel devastated because my vehicle was there. Now, like I said, I'm not a truck driver, so I can understand how you're looking at me like, Steve, shut up. You have no idea what you're talking about. I don't when it comes to operating a truck, but I do when it comes to the safety of the road. And we've got to be a little bit more cautious. It's the little things we're not paying attention that contribute to huge things. A truck, you guys already know, majority of these guys out here pay no mind to what is, sorry about that, what is going on out there. These guys are just driving in their own little world, not paying attention to the large trucks out there. I know that, you know that. So as truck drivers, you have so much responsibility weighing on you with a commercial driver's license and thousands of pounds of equipment that, you know what, sorry, you have a little bit more when it comes to where you're going to park your car. So at the end of the day, you should be parking it here in rest areas. This is what is the area that is designated for you, and ultimately the safest place you could be. Why would you not want to be parked way off the side of the road in an area where it's patrolled at night, taken care of, away from traffic? You can get out, use the restroom if you want to, and things like that. So this is where you should be. I wanted to pull up briefly, see what any recommendations from Florida law says. So you got to remember, rest areas are patrolled at night, not during the daytime, but that doesn't mean you're not going to have troopers driving through here. So if I'm carrying cargo, then that's where I'd want to be. Make sure no one's messing with me in the middle of the night. I like those Chrysler Crossfires. Those are cool. So just pulling up something on the computer here real quick. Okay, so I went through a few trucker blogs this morning as fast as I could to try to look at a little bit of this, and a lot of people were recommending the fact that, you know, maybe if you're driving for a big corporation, you should reach out to them to have them plan or recommend approved parking areas. What partnerships do you have? I'm sure if a company is paying for your services, they want you to be safe. So Walmart, Target, big friendly to big vehicles, very friendly to big vehicles and overnight parking. Some of the blogs had indicated, and Home Depots, stuff like that. Or our huge gas stations that are along the interstate. There is no fixed answer for this. I say that cautiously because there really isn't. We have to deal with what we have. I can't just pull parking spots out of a hat and say, hey, you can park here. But you've got to do it legally and you have to do it safely. Just in return, when the world is all against cops and cops are like, hey, well, we're just human. Well, if you can't handle the rules and regulations, you shouldn't be doing the job. Same thing as a truck driver. The world and traffic is against you, even though you're the most vital, probably infrastructure we have is getting our resources around are our truck drivers. They make literally our country move. But you have to follow the rules. You can't be parking on the side of the interstate, especially where there are signs posted clearly. No signs posted. But we have got really nice, at least roadway rest areas all over the place. And it's something I think we should consider when driving out there. Because if not, one day you might get a ticket and you're going to be upset. Or, even worse, be involved in some type of minor crash. So use our rest areas. If you're joining us this morning, we're talking about where truck drivers should be parking and where they should not be parking. And one of those were on the shoulder of the roadway along I-4. There are plenty of... My biggest concern, guys, if you're taking anything away from this, what is Steve harping about? Find another place other than the road. I don't care about anything else. My beef ends up being with the safety of everybody out in the roadway. If you choose to have a partnership with a big box company or private roadway, you do your thing. But that's between you and them. I don't care about that. I care solely public roadway and transportation. So the big takeaway out of this, no parking on anywhere of our public roadways, to include the shoulder, unless it's an emergency. Then of course you want to make sure you have your reflective triangles out. But our rest areas are great. Know where they're at. Do not park on the shoulder. You've accepted the responsibility of being a commercial motor vehicle driver. Unfortunately, there is so much more responsibility that comes with that. So thank you, this car, for pulling right out in front of me for no reason. Look at this, multi-lane change for no reason. All right, guys, have a great day. Be safe. Weather this afternoon, wet, super cold weather over the super temperatures drop overnight. Gonna be a busy week. Miss you guys. Fun times. Drive safe. Wear your seatbelt. Let's have a good day.